Luka should be MVP. Here's why. Luka is flat out having one of the best individual seasons we've seen in a long time. The numbers are wild, and they don't lie. He's played 61 games this season, all starts, and he's averaging 33.6 points per game. That's first in the entire NBA, not top 5, first. He's also averaging 8.3 assists per game, which puts him third in the league, and 7.8 rebounds. So he's basically doing everything for the Lakers every single night. In total, he's scored 2,048 points on the season. Again, first in the NBA, he's also racked up 508 assists and 478 rebounds. Those are massive numbers for a guy who's also carrying the scoring load the way he is. Now let's talk shooting. He's hitting 47.4% from the field, 36.4% from 3, and 77.4% from the free throw line. He's averaging 10.9 three-point attempts per game, which leads the entire NBA. And he's getting to the line 10.2 times per game. His effective field goal percentage sits at 56.1, and his true shooting percentage is 61.3. That's elite efficiency for the kind of volume he's putting up. His usage rate is 38.1%, which leads the league. The Lakers are running everything through him, and he's delivering. His player efficiency rating is 27.9. His box plus minus is 9.1, and his value over replacement player is 6.2. Those are all top-tier advanced numbers across the board. March has been his best stretch of the season so far. He's averaging 36.9 points per game this month, shooting 48.4% from the field and 38.1% from 3. He also dropped 60 points on March 19th against Miami. 60. That included 9 made threes and 15 made free throws. Then he followed that up with 51 points against Chicago on March 12th. He had 43 more just a couple days ago against Indiana on March 25th. He scored 30 or more points in 42 of his 61 games this year. That's 68.9% of his games. He also has 8 triple-doubles this season, and 8 of those came with 30 or more points. He's 4th in the NBA in triple-doubles overall, and his career total of 30-point-plus triple-doubles now sits at 55. The Lakers are 47 and 26 this season, sitting 3rd in the Western Conference and 1st in the Pacific Division. When Luka's on the court, the team's net rating is a positive 3.6 to 3.9. The impact is real, and it shows up in the standings. He's a 20-26 All-Star. He leads the NBA in points, three-point attempts, and free throw attempts. And he's top 5 in multiple advanced categories. The season isn't over yet either, but then we can look at his scoring, 33.6 points per game. That's what Luka is averaging this season, and that number leads the entire NBA. Not top 3, not top 2. First place. He's the best scorer in the league right now, and the stats back that up completely. Let's start with the raw volume. 22.9 field goal attempts per game. That's a massive workload. He's taking more shots than almost anyone else in the league on a nightly basis, and he's still converting at a really high rate. That kind of volume usually comes with a drop in efficiency. For Luka, it hasn't. He's maintained his effectiveness even while carrying one of the heaviest offensive loads in the entire NBA. His effective field goal percentage is 56.1%. That number puts him better than 76% of players across the league. Effective field goal percentage accounts for the fact that 3-pointers are worth more than 2-pointers, so it gives a clearer picture of how valuable each shot actually is. And Luka's number is sitting comfortably above 3/4 of the league. For a guy who's chucking 22.9 attempts per game, that's genuinely impressive. Now let's break down what's actually making up those points. He's making 6.9 two-pointers per game and 4.0 three-pointers per game. His points per field goal attempt comes out to 1.1. That means every single shot he takes is producing more than a full point on average. When you're shooting that many times a game, maintaining that kind of return on each attempt is what separates good scorers from great ones. His true shooting percentage is 61.2%. That number puts him better than 65% of all players. True shooting is the most complete efficiency stat in basketball because it factors in field goals, three-pointers, and free throws all. Together, it's the full picture of how efficient a scorer actually is. 61.2% while averaging 33.6 points per game is a combination that very few players in NBA history have ever pulled off. The volume is elite. The efficiency is elite, both at the same time. He's averaging 10.2 free throw attempts per game. That's second in the entire NBA. Getting to the line that often adds a massive layer to his scoring. Free throws are the most efficient shot in basketball. No defender, no contest, just a player and the line. Luka is drawing fouls at an extraordinary rate, which means defenses can't simply crowd him without paying a price. Every time they get too aggressive, he's getting to the line and converting. His points per scoring attempt lands at 1.2 when you fold in the free throw volume. That's the number that tells you just how much damage he's doing every time he touches the ball with the intention of scoring. Think about what that actually means. 1 point, 2 points per scoring attempt. That's not just high. That's the kind of number that changes how a defense has to prepare for a single player. They can't sit back because he'll pull up and shoot. They can't blitz him because he'll draw the foul or find the open man. He's forcing defenses into impossible situations every single night, and the efficiency numbers show exactly how well he's taking advantage. His scoring profile is also incredibly well-rounded. It's not like he's a one-dimensional scorer who only thrives in one area. He's making shots off the dribble, off the catch, from the mid-range, from three, and at the rim. He's getting to the line at one of the highest rates in the league. There's no one way to guard him, because every time a defense overcommits to stopping one part of his game, something else opens up. In 61 games this season, he scored 2,048 total points. That's first in the NBA. He scored 30 or more points in 42 of those 61 games. That's 68.9% of his appearances, more than 2 out of every 3 times he steps on the floor. He's hitting 30 points. That kind of consistency at that level of scoring is genuinely rare. March has been the hottest stretch of an already incredible season. He's averaging 36.9 points per game this month, shooting 48.4% from the field. He dropped 60 points against Miami on March 19th. He had 51 against Chicago on March 12th. He added 43 more against Indiana on March 25th. 3 games in the last couple of weeks where he scored at least 43 points. That's not a hot streak. That's a different level of performance. His scoring isn't just impressive in isolation either. It's impressive because of how efficient it is relative to the volume. Plenty of players can score a lot if a team just runs everything through them and lets them shoot endlessly. Very few can do it while maintaining an effective field goal percentage that ranks above 76% of the league and a true shooting percentage that ranks above 65%. Luka is doing both. The usage rate backing all of this up is 38.1%. That leads the entire NBA. The Lakers are running their offense through him at the highest rate of any player in the league, and he's responding with the best scoring numbers in the game. The efficiency holding up under that kind of usage is what makes this season stand out. 33.6 points per game, first in the NBA, 61.2% true shooting, 56.1 effective field goal percent, 10.2 free throw attempts per game, 2,048 total points. The scoring resume this season has been extraordinary, and there's still time left to add to it. The playoff push is heating up, and tournament hoops are here. And there's no better way to cash in if you're right than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Every bucket, every dime, every win just means more when you're making picks on Prize Picks. And now they've got team picks, which makes it even better. You can pick game winners, spreads, and totals on top of the player picks you already know. I've been using it recently, and honestly, it just makes watching games way more fun. Like, I'm not just watching anymore. I actually care about every single possession. And with team picks, I can call my shot on who's winning games, who's taking the whole thing, all of it, all in the same app. Plus, it's available in 35 states, so chances are you can try it too. Download the Prize Picks app today and pick your first game winner, spread or total as the playoff push rolls on. And get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup when you use code CLNS. That's code CLNS to get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Somewhere between getting back in the gym and realizing summer's coming up, eating better stops being optional. That's exactly why I started using Factor. It's fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and made by chefs. And they're ready in like 2 minutes. No cooking, no planning, nothing. Like last week, after a workout, I had the Tex-Mex chicken bowl, and honestly, that was the best decision I made all day. Everything is made with real ingredients too. Lean proteins, vegetables, healthy fats. No refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, no weird stuff. And the variety's crazy. They've got over 100 rotating meals every week. High protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean. Even stuff like their new Muscle Pro meals if you're trying to build strength. Plus, it's always fresh, never frozen. You just heat it up and you're good. I actually use this, and it's made staying consistent way easier. Head to factormeals.com/ModernJam50off and use code ModernJam50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Make eating better easy with Factor. Luka's teamwork numbers this season are something else entirely. His mixed teamwork rating sits at 93%, meaning he ranks better than 93% of all players in the league when it comes to how much his presence creates a positive margin for his team. That's not just a good number, that's an elite number. Let's start with the on-off impact, because that's where it gets really interesting. When Luka is on the floor, the Lakers are a dramatically better team. His on-off differential is plus 2.7. That means the Lakers outscore opponents by 2.7 more points per 100 possessions with him on the court compared to when he's sitting on the bench. 2.7 might not sound massive at first, but in the NBA, that kind of consistent margin over an entire season is genuinely significant. It compounds. It adds up. Game after game, possession after possession, having Luka out there means the Lakers are winning the possession battle at a higher rate. His offensive rating with him on the floor is 120.8. That means the Lakers are scoring 120.8 points per 100 possessions when he's playing. That's a high-powered offense. The NBA average for a good offense sits in the mid-1 teens, so sitting at 120.8 is well above the standard for what a top-tier offense looks like. Luka is the engine driving that number, and it shows up every single time the team runs a half-court set, pushes in transition, or runs a pick and roll. The defensive rating with him on the floor is 116.7. That gives the Lakers a net rating of plus 4.2 when Luka's out there, plus 4.2. That's the gap between what they're scoring and what they're allowing per 100 possessions, and it's firmly in positive territory. A team that consistently runs a plus 4 net rating over a full season is typically one of the better teams in the league. The Lakers are doing exactly that with their best player on the court. Now here's the part that adds even more context. 60.7% of his games this season have ended with a positive plus minus for Luka personally. More than 6 out of every 10 games, the team is outscoring the opposition while he's on the floor. That's not luck. That's not variance. That's a player who consistently makes his team better in a way that actually shows up in the final score. Think about what it means for a team to have a player whose presence alone shifts the margin by 2.7 points. Over the course of a season with 82 games, that difference starts to account for wins that wouldn't have happened otherwise. The Lakers are 47-26 right now, sitting third in the Western Conference and first in the Pacific Division. You can't fully separate that record from what Luka brings every time he steps on the floor. His offensive impact is the most visible part of the equation. He's averaging 8.3 assists per game, which ranks third in the NBA. He has 508 total assists on the season. His assist percentage is 40.4, which means he's responsible for 40.4% of all field goals made by teammates while he's on the court. That's massive. Nearly half of everything the Lakers make when he's playing runs through him in some way. When a player is creating that many buckets for teammates while also leading the league in scoring, the offense becomes almost impossible to game plan against. His deflections come in at 3.4 per game, which ranks in the 76th percentile league-wide. That's a detail that doesn't always show up in the box score, but it matters. Deflections disrupt offensive rhythm, force turnovers, and change the trajectory of possession. Getting 3.4 of those per game while also running the entire offensive operation is a significant two-way contribution that often gets overlooked when people talk about his impact. The net rating of plus 4.2 is the number that really ties everything together, though. It's the single stat that captures both ends of the floor simultaneously. Offense at 120.8 and defense at 116.7. That's a team that's functioning at a high level on both sides. And Luka is the constant variable every time those numbers look good. Pull him out of the lineup and the team's margin shrinks. Put him back in and it climbs again. His box plus minus for the season is 9.1, broken down into an offensive box plus minus of 7.9 and a defensive box plus minus of 1.2. The offensive number speaks for itself. 7.9 means he's contributing nearly 8 more points per 100 possessions than a replacement level player would on that end of the floor. That's an extraordinary offensive impact number. The defensive side coming in at a positive 1.2 means he's contributing there too, not just breaking even. His value over replacement player sits at 6.2. That's a top tier number league wide, and it reflects just how much ground the Lakers would lose if they had to replace him with an average player off the bench. 6.2 VORP over 61 games is the kind of production that separates genuine franchise players from everyone else. 93% mixed teamwork, plus 2.7 on off differential, plus 4.2 net rating, 60.7% of games ending with a positive plus-minus, 8.3 assists per game. These aren't just individual accomplishments. They're proof that Luka doesn't just score. He makes the Lakers a legitimately better basketball team every single time he's on the floor. Luka's ball handling ranking sits at 98%, better than 98% of all players in the entire league. That's about as close to the top as it gets, and when you look at the numbers behind that ranking, it makes complete sense. He's averaging 8.3 assists per game this season. That's third in the NBA. Over 61 games, that's translated into 508 total assists on the year. That's an enormous number of plays created for teammates, and it doesn't even capture the full picture of how much he's running the offense. His assist percentage is 38.78%. That number ranks better than 97% of all players in the league. What that means in plain terms is that while Luka is on the floor, he's responsible for 38.78% of every single field goal his teammates make. Nearly 4 out of every 10 made baskets the Lakers get, while he's playing runs directly through him. He's not just a scorer who occasionally finds an open teammate. He's a primary creator who's essentially running a one-man offense distribution system every single night. The points assisted number puts that into even clearer perspective. He's generating 19.5 points worth of assists per game. So between his 33.6 points scored and his 19.5 points assisted, Luka is directly responsible for over 50 points of production every single game. 50 points. That's what one player is contributing to his team's total output on a nightly basis when you account for both his scoring and his creation for others. Think about what it means for a defense to have to account for that. They can't just send a double team and call it a day. Every time they collapse on him to stop the drive or contest the pull-up, there's a teammate getting a clean look somewhere on the floor. His ability to read the defense and deliver the ball to the right spot at the right time is what makes the offensive rating numbers look the way they do. It's not a coincidence that the Lakers are scoring 120.8 points per 100 possessions when he's on the court. Now here's the other side of the ball handling conversation, and it's the one that keeps his overall ranking from being perfect. His turnover percentage is 12.73%, which ranks below 44% of players. He's averaging 4.0 turnovers per game, and over 61 games, that's added up to 244 total turnovers on the season. He leads the NBA in that category. But here's the context that matters. His turnover percentage is calculated against 27.4 scoring attempts per game. He's operating with the ball in his hands more than almost any other player in the league. A usage rate of 38.1%, which leads the NBA, means the ball is coming to him constantly, and he's making decisions at an extremely high volume. The more possessions a player is involved in, the more chances there are for something to go wrong. It's a statistical reality of being the primary creator and scorer on a team at this level. 4 turnovers per game is absolutely something worth noting. It's the one part of his ball handling profile that drags the overall number down, but when you zoom out and look at the full picture, what he's producing with the ball in his hands far outweighs what he's losing. 8.3 assists against 4.0 turnovers is still a 2-to-1 ratio. For every turnover he commits, he's generating roughly 2 assists. That's a positive return even in the turnover column. His assist to turnover ratio sitting around 2.1 to 1 while averaging 8.3 dimes per game is a reasonable outcome for a player with this kind of usage. The truly elite passers in NBA history have always had to navigate the reality that more creation means more risk. Luka is creating at one of the highest rates in the league, and the ratio reflects that he's managing it reasonably well, even if the raw turnover number looks high in isolation. The ball handling score of 98% tells you that the full package, assists, assist rate, creation volume, and turnover management all weighed together places him at the very top of the league. Only 2% of players in the NBA are ranked higher in this category. That's not a participation trophy. That's a reflection of what he's doing with the basketball every single night. 38.78% assist rate, 19.5 points assisted per game, 508 total assists, 8.3 assists per game, ranking third in the NBA. These aren't numbers that happen by accident. They're the product of a player who understands where everyone is on the floor at all times, who can manipulate a defense with his eyes, and who makes his teammates genuinely better by being out there with them. The turnover number is real, and it's fair to acknowledge, but it's the cost of doing business when you're the engine of an offense, running at this speed and this volume. His ball handling ranking of 98% says the league sees the full picture clearly. The creation outweighs the cost, and it isn't particularly close. 7.8 rebounds per game. That ranks better than 81% of all players in the NBA this season. For a guard and primary ball handler, who's also leading the league in scoring and ranking third in assists, that rebounding average is a legitimate part of his overall game, and it deserves its own conversation. Over 61 games, he's pulled down 478 total rebounds on the season. 439 of those have come on the defensive end, and 39 have come on the offensive glass. He's averaging 7.2 defensive rebounds per game and 0.6 offensive rebounds per game. The defensive number is where the real story lives. His defensive rebound percentage is 19.84%. That ranks better than 88% of all players in the league. What that number means is that while Luka is on the floor, he's grabbing 19.84% of all available defensive rebound. Nearly 1 out of every 5 defensive rebound opportunities that exist when he's playing ends up in his hands. For a player whose primary responsibility is running the entire offense, that's a remarkable contribution on the glass. Defensive rebounding at that rate matters for a lot of reasons beyond just the raw number. Every defensive rebound he pulls down is a possession secured for the Lakers. It's a second chance opportunity taken away from the opposing offense. It's also often the starting point for a fast break or a quick outlet that puts the Lakers in a favorable transition situation. A player who can rebound at this rate while also being the first option to push the ball up the floor is genuinely valuable in ways that don't always show up in the box score conversation. His size and positioning play into this. At 6'7", with a strong frame, he's able to hold his ground in the paint on the defensive end and box out effectively against bigger players. He's not just drifting to the perimeter after a shot goes up. He's actively competing for the ball and winning that battle at a rate that puts him better than 88% of his peers, league-wide. That's not an accident. That's a consistent habit that shows up every single game. Now, the offensive rebounding side is a different picture. His offensive rebound percentage is 1.89%, which ranks better than only 19% of players. He's averaging 0.6 offensive rebounds per game, and that's a low number. It puts him below more than 80% of the league in that specific category. But here's the thing. His offensive rebounding role isn't meant to be significant. Luka is the point of origin for almost everything the Lakers do offensively. His job after a shot goes up from a teammate isn't to crash the glass. It's to get back and protect against the transition, or to be in position to receive the outlet and set up the next half-court possession. Offensive rebounding requires a player to leave their assignment and gamble on the glass. For someone with a usage rate of 38.1%, who's also responsible for getting back on defense, crashing hard for offensive boards would actually hurt the team more than it would help. The 1.89% offensive rebound rate is a reflection of his role, not a reflection of his effort or his ability. It's a deliberate tactical reality of being the hub of everything the Lakers do. You can't ask the same player to lead the league in usage, rank third in assists, lead the league in scoring, and also be a primary offensive rebounder. Something has to give, and offensive rebounding is the reasonable trade-off. What makes the overall rebounding profile impressive is that despite the low offensive number dragging the percentile ranking down in that specific category, his total rebounding average still sits better than 81% of the league. That's being carried almost entirely by his defensive glass work, which is elite, 19.84%. Defensive rebound rate ranking, better than 88% of all players, is the foundation of that overall number. 7.2 defensive rebounds per game from a player who's handling the ball on basically every possession is a real contribution. It means the Lakers don't need to designate another player solely for defensive rebounding responsibilities when Luka is on the floor. He's handling a significant chunk of that work himself while simultaneously running the offense. That's one less thing the coaching staff has to scheme around because he's already taking care of it. 478 total rebounds over 61 games, 7.8 per game overall, 7.2 on the defensive end, a defensive rebound percentage of 19.84 that ranks better than 88% of the entire league. The rebounding numbers aren't the flashiest part of his stat line this season, and they're never going to be the headline when he's also dropping 33.6 points and 8.3 assists per game. But they're a real and consistent part of what makes him such a complete player. He's not just a scorer who ignores the glass. He's actively contributing there on the defensive end at an elite rate, and the numbers confirm it clearly. 37.7% usage rate, That ranks better than 100% of all players in the NBA this season. Every single player in the league. Luka has the highest usage rate in the entire NBA, and it isn't close. Let's make sure that number actually registers. Out of every possession the Lakers run while he's on the floor, 37.7% of them end with Luka directly involved in the outcome. A shot attempt, a free throw, an assist, or a turnover. More than 1 out of every 3 possessions the Lakers run goes through his hands and concludes with him making a decision. That's an extraordinary concentration of offensive responsibility on one player. He's playing 74.4 possessions per game. That's his total workload on a nightly basis. And across those 74.4 possessions, he's taking 22.9 field goal attempts, drawing 10.2 free throw attempts, generating 8.3 assists, and committing 4.0 turnovers. Add all of that up and you get a player who's touching the outcome of the possession at an elite rate on basically every trip down the floor. The field goal attempt number is the most visible part of his usage. 22.9 attempts per game puts him among the highest volume shooters in the league. He's not just holding the ball and distributing. He's actively attacking the basket, pulling up from the mid-range, launching threes at a rate that leads the entire NBA, and drawing contact consistently enough to get to the line 10.2 times per game. Every single one of those actions counts toward his usage, and every single one of them represents a possession where the Lakers are leaning on him to produce. The free throw number deserves its own moment here because it's a significant part of why his usage is this high. 10.2 free throw attempts per game is second in the entire NBA. Getting to the line that often means defenses genuinely can't stop him without fouling. Every time they overplay him on the drive or get too physical contesting a shot, he's converting that into free points. The fact that the free throw attempts are baked into his usage rate means he's not just shooting a ton of field goals, he's also drawing fouls at one of the highest rates in the league and turning those fouls into possessions concluded by him at the line. Then there's the 8.3 assists factored in. That's the piece of his usage that sometimes gets overlooked in this conversation. His usage rate isn't built entirely on shot volume. Nearly a third of his usage actions are assists, meaning he's concluding possessions by setting teammates up rather than shooting himself. A player with a 37.7% usage rate who's also generating 8.3 assists per game isn't just a ball-dominant scorer. He's a ball-dominant everything. He's using his possession share to create for others at the same time he's creating for himself. That balance is what makes the usage number sustainable and what makes the offense function at the level it does. The 4.0 turnovers per game is the natural byproduct of touching the ball this much. When you're concluding more than 1 out of every 3 possessions your team runs, there are going to be turnovers. It's unavoidable. The real question is whether the production justifies the cost. And at 33.6 points per game, plus 19.5 points assisted per game, the answer is clearly yes. Think about what it takes to actually maintain a 37.7% usage rate over 61 games. It's not just about talent, it's about stamina, decision-making, and the ability to stay mentally locked in on every single possession for 35.9 minutes per game. He's running the offense, making reads, attacking closeouts, drawing fouls, finding cutters, and pulling up off the dribble night after night after night. The physical and mental load of being the concluding action on 37.7% of your team's possessions is something most players in the league have never experienced and will never experience. The efficiency holding up under that load is what makes this usage rate truly remarkable. His effective field goal percentage is 56.1%. His true shooting percentage is 61.2%. Those are above average efficiency numbers for any player in the league, let alone one who's handling the ball at the highest usage rate in the entire NBA. Usually, when usage climbs this high, efficiency drops. The shots get harder, the defense keys in, the fatigue accumulates. For Luka, the efficiency has stayed strong throughout the season, and March has actually been his best scoring month, with 36.9 points per game on 48.4% shooting. His net rating, a plus 4.2 when he's on the floor, tells you the team is thriving under this arrangement. The Lakers aren't just surviving the high usage model, they're winning because of it. 47-26 on the season, third in the Western Conference, first in the Pacific Division. Those standings are a direct reflection of what happens when you build everything around a player who can handle this kind of usage and still produce at an elite level, 100% better than every single player in the NBA in usage rate. 37.7% of every possession concluded by one person, 22.9 field goal attempts, 10.2 free throw attempts, 8.3 assists, 4.0 turnover, 74.4 possessions per game. The usage numbers paint a picture of a player who isn't just good, he's the entire operation. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.